Welcome back to the next part of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's do the exercise number 2, and let's do that quick because it's still not a main exercise for the day. Number 2, it says match the two parts of a sentence. Okay, so let's now match it. First sentence, I was going to play computer games. I was going to play computer games, so it was in the future, but in the past. I was going to play computer games. What will you match from A to E? But I wasn't to find out for years. No, which I would remember for many years. No. But I decided to watch a DVD instead. Yes, it is sensible for that. Okay, so number 2, exercise number 2. Number 1, it will be C. Now let's go with number 2. It was a painful experience. A, but I wasn't to find out for years. B, which I would remember for many years. It is B, yes, which I would remember for many years. So it was a painful experience, which I would remember for many years. Okay, so that was stayed in the past. Okay, so you will know by doing this exercise, just the matching those two halves of the sentences together. We also know how the time works in the past, and we also know how of those phrases gonna be matched and it stayed at the exact meaning. Okay, so that's now gonna do it next. Number 2, it will be B. Okay, to be. 3, I was about to say that. But okay, I was about to say that. Is it A, but I wasn't to find out for years? D, when you so rudely interrupted. Oh, that is correct. So, I was about to say that, so it means I'm supposed to say it, but you jumped into my conversation. So, supposed to say it means didn't say it, but supposed to say. Okay, almost saying it. So, story stays in the past, but it talks that action about saying things in the future, but in the past. Okay, so, I was about to say that. When you so rudely interrupted. Okay, so 3D. Oh, that hurts. Would not acceptable for those stupid actions. Also for the SSOAB. I may do the SSOAB plans to revenge. Another plans, but I'm just gonna, not any plans, but I'm just gonna talk about that. Okay, so maybe tomorrow night. Because I have been rescheduling my opening part for many days ago, and keeps updating. I gotta update the news, so push up. Number 4, the guests were arriving in an hour, but I wasn't to find out for years. No, that's not it. What about E? And we still hadn't got their rooms ready. The guests were arriving in an hour. So almost arriving in 1 hour. In 1 more hour, then they will come. And I mean, they would come because it is in the past. So, yeah, it matches. 4 with E. The guests were arriving in an hour, and we still hadn't got their rooms ready. Okay, so the rooms ready for E. Let's go for what next for the number 5. It must be the last one. It is 5A, but let's just gonna read it for the sensible. Everybody else knew why Jason had suddenly gone away, but I wasn't to find out for years. Okay, so Henderson has suddenly gone away, but I wasn't to find out for years. So, do we have that? Okay. You can use I wasn't about to find out. Or you can say I wasn't to find out. So there was a lesson that it used the phrase about was to. Was to plus verb base. It is correct. So don't need to change it. I remember for one lesson in the past we also have learned it about the past. And so keep it, okay? Keep it. 5A, okay, the last one, it must match, okay, 5A. So let's now go to the exercise number 3. Exercise number 3 for what is happening. Okay, so complete the sentences with the phrases in the box. Okay, we have 7 phrases for 7 boxes. Okay, it fits. Okay, so we're gonna do from 1 to 4, and then we will do the next exercises. Then if at the end of the show we still have time, we will be doing 5 to 7. Okay, so we will do 1 to 4 first. Okay, so because you can do it at home, it's not complicated, you know. This just put the words into the blanks. Okay, so they even form it already for us. So what we do, just gonna put the words into the blanks. So won't hard, okay? It won't be hard. Number 1, I blah 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 to the cinema, but I decided to stay in instead. So what's you gonna poach? What are you gonna poach? Put. I blah 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 to the cinema, but then I decided to stay in instead. So I was going to go. Yes, I was going to go to the cinema, but then I decided to stay in instead. Okay, so put that word in. I will note that for the number 1. 1 was going to go. Write it down, or you can note at the top of the phrase, so then later you can write it down. Please write it down, okay? Try to write, so you will remember the form of the future and the past. Number 2, nobody would know at that time that David blah 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 to be rich and famous. What would you put? Was about to leave? No. Was meeting? Was were catching? Was going to apply? Would go on. What would you put? Would go on. Yeah, I stop at that there. Okay, so you may guess what the answer is at that. Okay, so nobody knew at that time that David would go on to be rich. Okay, would go on to be rich. So action in the past, but that situation future in the past. Okay, it is about the future, but action still is still at the past. Number 3, I couldn't do overtime as I blah 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 some friends that evening. I could not do overtime as I was meeting some friends that evening. Okay, was meeting. So that person is gonna meet some friends in the future, but stayed in the past. So was going to meet. Was meeting. Okay, was meeting. The answer is was meeting. 3, was meeting. Number 4, Fred blah 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 the house when the phone rang. So okay, what the blank? What the blank? What the answer is? Yes, Fred was about to leave the house when the phone rang. So supposed to go out for a short time or a long time. I don't know. That is about Fred's house. But Fred was about to leave, but the phone rang. So accident. So Fred was about to leave the house when the phone rang. Okay, 4 was about to leave. Okay, so from 5 to 7, we may find a time in the future, in the past. Okay, so we will be doing the learn this box and the exercise number 4. So during the break, please look for that for a little bit, and we'll be right back with the next part of the show. Don't go anywhere.